Black Adam. What have your powers ever given to you? Nothing but heartache.
They're villains. Heroes don't kill people.
Well, I do. This world. Or you can be its savior. That's up to you.
Behind you!
Did he just catch a rocket?
He got a rocket.
Welcome back, everyone. We totally smell what The Rock is cooking. There's a brand new Black Adam trailer, so we'll break it all down. They give us a little bit of the story, so I'll talk about what's going on and all the connections to all the other DC movies that are going on right now that are especially connected to the Justice League line of continuity. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. So starting at the beginning of the footage that I'll work our way through shot by shot, they open on the shot of what looks like Hawkman's ship, but it could belong to this other group though. They have this mysterious tech-based group that a lot of people are confused thinking that it might be Argus, but because Hawkman talks about there being two different groups in the city, there are heroes, there are villains, and when you see the villains, they show these tech-based characters here. I'm assuming these are connected to the forces of Sabbac at some point. Sabbac is a demon-based Shazam villain that has powers that work similar to the way that Shazam and Black Adam's powers work. Like they have a power word, they draw power from gods or demons. Sabbac is a demon that gives people power. Inside this special facility, you see this villain group putting this ancient Kahndaq figure into stasis. I think this character is meant to be connected to the Sabbac villain, like he is giving people power the same way that Black Adam got power from the wizard Shazam and the other wizards of the council. You get this voiceover from Dr. Fate's character questioning Black Adam, what have your powers ever given you? Basically throwing everything in his face that he did 5,000 plus years ago that got him locked up in that magical prison by the wizard Shazam. That's meant to be a reference to him being trapped because of what happened with the 7 deadly sins, the big prologue during the Shazam movie. Pierce Brosnan playing our version of Dr. Fate on the Justice Society inside the DCEU. Obviously the Justice Society, very different from the Justice League. This movie is meant to establish them. They'll probably get some kind of spin-off movie at some point. I believe the way they're explaining them in the movie is that something crazy happened to their team in ancient history. Like they're meant to be an older team the way they portray them in the comics, and Dr. Fate and Hawkman are the only ones who have survived to present day. So the team is kind of in shambles when the movie picks up, and the newer, younger members like Cyclone and Atom Smasher wind up helping reform a new version of the team in present day. We see a little bit of Dr. Fate using his powers wearing the helmet of Naboo. The thing is that he can take the helmet off, but he's basically a prisoner to the power of the helmet and the power of this avatar of order. The whole thing with the Dr. Fate character is that he's an avatar of the gods of order, there's the gods of chaos. They get into a lot of that mythology during the Young Justice series. They also did a live-action version of Dr. Fate during the Smallville series a billion years ago. Usually they portray the powers of the helmet, the wielder of Dr. Fate's powers, as a curse, not a blessing. So he's kind of telling Black Adam in this scene that it's been like that with his powers too. They've kind of been more of a curse than a blessing. The whole idea is they spend this trailer trying to convince him that he should help Kahndaq, he should help the world, not destroy it. Remember, they're trying to use The Rock with this movie as an anti-hero, but obviously eventually they have to do Black Adam versus Shazam, so there's lots of quote-unquote disagreements that he has with other traditional superheroes. Like, we can't wait to see him fight Superman at some point because Superman is weak against magic, so it'd just be a really interesting fight. He narrates a little bit of his backstory. 5,000 plus years ago in Kahndaq, he said he was born into slavery. He did have a family, but they wound up dying at the hands of these really terrible slave masters. When he says his son died to save him, that's a bit of a twist on the comic book origin. If you read the newer versions of the origin story, which the Shazam movie borrowed from, they did some of Black Adam's origin story during that, but instead of doing it during the Shazam movie, they just said that there was too much going on. That's why they separated the Black Adam stuff in that story to this separate movie. But in the trailer, when he says his son died to save him, it sounds like this slave master is getting ready to kill him and his son does something to intervene and winds up dying instead. Then he says he died and was reborn a god, so it sounds like he gets the power of Shazam somehow when he's in the process of dying, like his son dies while he is in the process of dying and the power passes to him. Then they show him in modern day. This is obviously after he's been released from his magical tomb that the wizard put him in by Sarah Shahi's character. All these men with guns inside the tomb that are trying to get Sarah Shahi's character seem like they're connected to the Sabbac villain, or they might be another minor villain group. The whole idea is that in present day, Kahndaq has fallen to ruin, and there's just another warlord ruling over the area. It sounds like that's connected to the Sabbac villain character, but there could be just a bunch of other groups taking advantage of the area. As you can see, his power looks very similar to Shazam's power. His costume looks very similar to Shazam's costume because they get their power from the same person from the same place. Now, in the comics originally, the Black Adam acronym means something different from the Shazam acronym. It's the same basic principle, it's just that they draw power from different places. The powers themselves work very similar though. They have the same power word. They say Shazam, they activate their powers or they deactivate them. But because there's this big shared history between the characters, the Rock of Eternity and the Wizard Shazam, there'll probably be some sort of moment during the film or some post-credit scene where they connect them. I believe the next movie after Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods, and after the Black Adam movie, that will be your big crossover Shazam versus Black Adam film. There was a funny video of The Rock driving around in his golf cart, just yelling curse words, just getting really excited about his trailer being released. You have to imagine it's the Shazamly that Black Adam is dragging behind him on that cart. He will wreck them during that movie. When they have this Indiana Jones looking scene where Sarah Shahi releases him from his prison, you have these special rocks here. There's a crown floating in the air that they show. I believe that's meant to be the crown of Sabbac, just according to reports about the movie, something the villain group is trying to obtain that will make them more powerful. I'm assuming because Black Adam's prison is so near where this other main artifact that the villains want, is because the wizard Shazam, when he trapped Black Adam, also put this crown here. Djimon Hounsou is supposed to appear at some point during the film as a younger version of the wizard. I think they'll have a flashback to explain how he trapped him in this prison. This is Hawkman's Thanagarian ship. You see Hawkman's symbol all over the place. It's all made of nth metal and technology from the Thanagarians. They were going to have Aquaman in the movie at one point, but The Rock basically said that another project, another DC movie or TV show was going to use her. They wound up using the Cyclone character instead for that. Most of you are at least a little familiar with Hawkman's character. It's basically what you think it is. He's a character who's resurrected, but I don't know how they're going to explain his backstory, if it'll be the one that you've seen in live action before, but because there's all this Thanagarian technology that seems like it's from another planet, it sounds like they're going to incorporate the whole Hawk world, the world of Thanagar stuff into the movie as well. Obviously, his whole thing is that he resurrects every time he dies, and that is connected to the power of the nth metal. This is Atom Smasher. They did a live-action version during The Flash a bunch of years ago that you probably saw, but this is a much younger version of the character. Obviously, he's not meant to be evil or anything like that. His technology for changing his size seems like it's really old-timey, so he might just be a subsequent version of the character who's taken up the mantle from the previous Atom Smasher. We see some of the powers of the Justice Society as they all jump out of Hawkman's ship, have this big battle with the villain group. Cyclone's powers are exactly what you think. She's shown up in the Justice Society comics before. She's a relatively minor character, but it sounds like they try to give her a bit of an upgrade, especially with her costume during this movie. Hawkman and Black Adam have this big scene, him trying to take him to task about killing people, even villains, saying heroes don't do that. They're trying to use this as one of the big taglines of the movie, one of his big mottos, like, heroes don't kill people, but I kill people. You see Black Adam try to save Sarah Shahi's character and this other person from these thugs. Within the context of present day, they're obviously meant to be a proxy for his family in ancient times. Sarah Shahi is playing the character who becomes his love interest in present day. The young kid, I think, might wind up being her brother if they're doing the comics. In the comics, there is an arc where he does share some of his power with these characters the same way that Shazam shares his power with the rest of his family. But because Black Adam is viewed as more of a villain, more of an anti-hero, things kind of go off the rails when he does stuff like that. Dr. Fate talks about witnessing the future using his power and seeing a couple different possibilities. Black Adam either pulls off his own version of the evil Superman plot from the Justice League Snyder Cut sequels, where he basically conquers the entire world and winds up killing or enslaving most of the other heroes. I've already done a billion videos about the Justice League Snyder Cut sequels plot because we found out what he was going to be doing for each of those sequels, so I'll post that link down in the description. But then Dr. Fate says the other possibility, the other future that he saw is Black Adam helping the world become better. This is just another action scene with Black Adam going up against some of the other villain characters from the Sabbac group. You see a citywide scape though with a statue that looks like it was a statue to him. Then they just have a couple funny moments about how powerful he really is, how much damage he can actually soak. The big joke about him catching the missile, not really understanding what kind of weapon it is because he's so old, he's just come out of prison. The way they explain his power level during this is that he's meant to be the most powerful that he will ever become. Like there is no power-up that he is seeking to obtain. So he's meant to be as powerful as Superman during this potentially. This is meant to be set after the events of the Justice League Snyder Cut movie. This is a DCEU movie because it's connected to Shazam, and he is connected to Henry Cavill Superman, obviously. But what'll happen is they're actually releasing Shazam 2 right after the Black Adam movie during this same year, so we won't have to wait that long before we find out what's happening during Shazam 2 and what's going on with their big crossover. If you did spot any Easter eggs during the trailer that I didn't talk about during the video or any big plot points, just let me know in the comments. I'm sure there's going to be some questions about what's going on with this character as we get the next couple trailers. The movie's coming out in October, so we will get another trailer later this summer. I'm working on my Miss Marvel Episode 1 video right now too that should post tomorrow morning. While you wait for that, everyone click here for my full Obi-Wan Kenobi Episode 4 video and Easter eggs, and click here for my brand new Thor Love and Thunder trailer video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.